Republic of Ghana has been approved and a president as sworn in. So now Justice Bafuboni is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. All the noise, all the brouhaha, all the unnecessary debates the course now it's all over. We have a Chief Justice now. He's in the person of Justice Bafuboni. Some of us here, your interest in all these things is upholding, your friend is saying, the Constitution and making sure that serve with the purpose. And here, you're practicing a democracy. Now, some twisted minds be your opportunity to have power and use it as an instrument or model ever terrorize people, to subdue people into subjugation, those kind of way, no. So now we have a new Chief Justice who is going to be the administrative head, not only the court, but the entire judiciary in this country, and much is expected of him. The support you need, you will get it. But you will never mess up and say, hey, we support you. No, we don't support a person. We support the sanctity of that particular office, not the holder. So the holder must always be a reflection of the kind of sanctity in the office. Saden na tokununhua want to me and equate herself to the sort of sanctity Ghana for the office, and she thought that she was powerful than the office. Where's our survival? Because I catch us a democracy way in ya ejina ya judiciary and to constitution, Article 125 and catch say the judicial power is vested in the judiciary, and it shall administer justice in the name of the Republic. And now say, justice emanates from the people and shall be administered by the judiciary in the name of the Republic, which shall be fair and subject only to this Constitution. So its fidelity should be unwavering and absolute. But in recent times, and into the wailings on the part of Ghanaians, your judiciary became a rag, a form on social media. And people, some twisted minds thought to say public concerns and yet necessary, you can make the noise out there. Because no civilized person and within a democratic state, the majority of the people are really concerned about the sanctity of the judiciary among your concern. Thinking so, I am the judge, I have the power, the law is at my bosom, I sit in the office, the me pen a mayor. Court in your mamma, and your papa dear. So the justice you are delivering emanates from the people. You are just administering it on our behalf in the name of the Republic. So you're just a tool, you're just a vessel. You're supposed to do it well, do it just. You should be partisan, you should be neutral, you should be independent. Your integrity should be top notch. You cannot take over the hands of a Chief Justice and then you use it to broker personal deals, use cases to as if they satisfy personal whims and conveniences. Well, yes, sir, you will not survive. That is why Ghana for what the former Chief Justice had done. And on top of that, they wrote a petition calling for her removal. A committee was set up, went through the process, and at the end of the day, found her guilty. Constitutional process was activated. She fought the process, but at the end of the day, none of the cases or they call courts and it may a warranty justify any reasonable outcome. Every judicial process not stop it. So all the noise and the unnecessary where Afenyo Markin and his team were just your friends are throwing themselves about, didn't count, didn't matter. They remain personal opinion, personal emotions, and a normal share. Come cultural, if you have legitimate grounds, bring the issue up, let's debate it, go to court, secure injunction, procure injunction, stop the process, and let's make sure, sir, we go through the process again. And now, sir, you can just allow this process to ride, fight your fight in court. If you succeed, the whole thing will become void. They know the option. So now the purpose for recording this video is to usher the new Chief Justice into his new role. And he has no reason to fail. I'm sure he has just about a year or two to retire. But he needs to set a legacy. I wash the debt. I try judicial. All the filth. Ghana judicial. I gather in recent times. He has a duty to ensure, say, my judicial I get the dignity back once again. I just had the cause because the fact is that Ghana for any they don't have any respect for the court in recent times, and it is the actions and once again the trust and confidence among for the judiciary. So he has an enormous duty as an administrative head in ensuring, say, this ultimate feast, is achieved. There is no NIN. So, Mr. Chief Justice, you're welcome. We are urging you, say, the NCI Mubina ya no dem no, say, yade emrane pepe ye adwuma. I believe in a fair and a just society. Society where people will not be regarded because of status, because where you come from, because you went to school, because you have degree. No. I want to see a society will be our access to justice. And then the president spoke about it. Justice should not be too expensive. It should not favor the powerful and go against the powerless. And in all things being equal, nipa esenka justice cry favor or more should be the powerless, the marginalized, the poor. So let us make sure that we guard the sanctity of the judiciary, and the person who will help us do that is the current Chief Justice. Fortunately, why I am happy to say he's the most experienced person in Ghana right now when it comes to say Yenya Jeja. He's the most experienced, the most senior most. He has been within the judiciary for several years. And the Supreme Court, he is the longest serving justice of the Supreme Court. The longest. Of course, Supreme Court, they didn't achieve interval over 10 to 8 years. But Bafu Bonnie our year and say 2012 election petition. One rule a man kufuado. And 2016 oba power no and mutu money seen so. And I know no can it me about 1 year, not yam to cases so crass only. But he was, and I said at a time, he was the most, and still is the most experienced person. Because Bafu Bonnie ne court to Weno a year was served under order president, and ye pobi ordinary Supreme Court and their president Kufo. But Enam said 2012 election petition, in some other way, he became an enemy of the establishment. And for that reason, and this story, the people around, if you talk to people within the judiciary, they will tell you, how are you fast where you doing any? But this is not the time to take revenge on anybody. This is the time to gather the pieces and do things right, because the tyranny you commit, will not be a legacy or be leave behind. But the good you do, and the idea a best cement your place, and knowing very well, say you have a short period, do the right thing. Make sure, say, you lay a solid foundation. Say the same thing I told President Mahama when he was coming. Say you have just 4 years. Make sure you build a solid foundation for the new Ghana to take off. So in the future, when people are talking, they say the new Ghana that took off was built by President Mahama. The new judiciary that will take off make sure say you become the cornerstone, the architect, the foundational man who procured and secured its foundation proper, built, anchored on integrity, fairness, neutrality, independent, a bias, neutral, and be good with all other people, whether you think they are your friends or you're not. Because be good to all of the people. Be their Chief Justice. Be there for them. Sebaya, Ghana for will not have the cause to come back again and complain about the sanctity of our judiciary. In recent times, Parliament they almost and in house. The executive, depending on who is in power. In the last 8 years, we are Ghana and in say want to executive so sometimes warankasa we. But one institution we cannot afford to lose is the judiciary. So, Mr. Chief Justice, and you know the time is very short, but you can leave a longer legacy. In as much as your time is shorter, you can leave a long-lasting legacy that will leave imprint on the conscience of our judicial system forever. And people always say, Bafuboni pencil, and we see, because you are the most experienced person. Let that experience come to bear. Let that depth of knowledge come to bear and make shifting changes. Abema Ghana for, and who said once again, the judiciary is back. That is a short message, Amewo. And approval and seven President Mahama Kachire no. It's part of this video. So there is a key part I want you to watch. So stick. Let's watch it when we come back. Then I'll take you through the other side of this particular conversation.
Unpopular must be respected and enforced. This is the bedrock of the rule of law. And I'm confident that under your leadership, my Lord Chief Justice, the judiciary would continue to uphold its constitutional mandate without fear or favor, and as you said in your oath, without affection or ill will. In recent years, public institutions worldwide and in our own country have been questioned, scrutinized, and sometimes criticized. Our people want institutions that work, but they also demand institutions that they can trust. The judiciary in particular must be above reproach. One single act of corruption by a judicial officer can undermine years of hard work and erode public confidence in the entire system. My Lord Chief Justice, one of your most urgent tasks is to strengthen integrity within the judiciary. And this includes, firstly, firm but fair disciplinary standards for judges and staff. Secondly, transparent and predictable procedures for case assignment and management. Thirdly, strong internal mechanisms to address allegations of misconduct. And fourth, a culture where ethical conduct is rewarded and wrongdoing is swiftly sanctioned. Our citizens must know and feel that justice in Ghana is not for sale, and that no one, regardless of their power or status, is too powerful or too humble to be held accountable under the law. Justice must not only be fair, it must also be accessible, it must be timely, and it must be affordable. Too many of our fellow citizens still experience justice as something that is distant, that is slow, and financially burdensome. Court adjournments, delays in delivering judgments, and complex procedures can turn our courtrooms into places of frustration rather than places of hope. I therefore urge you, my Lord, in collaboration with the Judicial Council and the Bar, to prioritize the reduction of case backlogs through innovative case management systems. The expansion and modernization of court infrastructure, especially in underserved districts. Also the use of technology, e-filing, virtual hearings where appropriate, and digital recordings to improve efficiency. And also simplified procedures, especially for small claims, family matters, juvenile and labor matters, so that ordinary citizens are not excluded by technicality. As government, we recognize our responsibility to provide adequate resources to support these reforms. We'll work with your office to ensure that the judiciary is adequately equipped to deliver justice in a modern and efficient manner. The Constitution of Ghana guarantees fundamental human rights and freedom of all persons in Ghana. But rights have meaning only when they are effectively protected and enforced. The courts are the last refuge for the vulnerable, the poor, the marginalized, children, persons with disability, and all those who feel powerless in the face of authority or abuse. And so I trust that under your stewardship, the judiciary will deepen the protection of human rights and civil liberties, and that the judiciary will ensure that justice is not tilted in favor of the wealthy or powerful, and that it strengthens specialized courts and divisions where necessary to address issues such as family welfare, land disputes, commercial disputes, environmental protection, and corruption, and to promote alternative dispute resolution mechanisms to complement the formal courts, especially in community and family disputes. Justice must not be an abstract principle confined to law books. It must be seen, felt, and experienced in the daily lives of our people. A modern judiciary demands continuous learning because the law is constantly evolving through new legislation, international obligations, and emerging areas such as cyber law, environmental law, law of the ocean, and complex commercial transactions. I therefore encourage you to strengthen the Judicial Training Institute as a center of excellence for continuing legal education, to promote regular training in ethics, judgment writing, court administration, and the use of technology for our judges and judicial officers, to develop clear performance standards and evaluation mechanisms for judges and magistrates without compromising judicial independence, and also to encourage research, publications, and dialogue between the bench, the bar, academia, and civil society. Because a judiciary that learns is a judiciary that leads. Relationship with the bar and other stakeholders is important. The administration of justice is a shared enterprise. Judges, lawyers, court staff, law enforcement agencies, traditional authorities, and the public all have a role to play. So, my Lord Chief Justice, I urge you to cultivate a strong, constructive relationship with the bar and other professional bodies and stakeholders. A robust debate between the bench and the bar is healthy, but it must be grounded in mutual respect and a shared commitment to the rule of law. I also encourage greater outreach and public education on our justice system. When citizens understand how the courts work, they are more likely to respect court decisions and to use lawful means to resolve their disputes. Even as we emphasize independence, we must also recognize the need for cooperation among the three arms of government. The judiciary needs an enabling legal framework, adequate budgetary allocation, and supportive policies. The executive and the legislature on their parts require timely and impartial judicial interpretations of the law and the Constitution. In my administration's research agenda and broader reforms, we see the judiciary as a critical partner in building a just, prosperous, and stable Ghana. We will engage with your office in a spirit of consultation and respect, while scrupulously preserving your independence in the performance of your judicial functions. And so, my Lord Chief Justice, today you stand at the intersection of law, history, and service. You come to this office with many years of experience on the bench, with a record of distinguished service to our country. The expectations of our people in you are high, and so too are their hopes. And so I charge you to lead with courage, even when decisions are difficult or unpopular, to guard jealously the institutional integrity and independence of the judiciary, to inspire your colleagues and staff by personal example in diligence, humility, and fairness. And always remember that every file that lies on your desk and every case in our courts represents human lives families, and people's futures. If you discharge your duties faithfully, posterity will remember you not just as a Chief Justice, but as a Chief Justice who made a significant difference. To you, my Lord Chief Justice, to my lords, the justices of our superior courts, and to all judges and staff of the Judicial Service, I pledge the cooperation and support of my government as you undertake your sacred mandates to the people of Ghana. And to our citizens, I say, let us continue to place our trust in the institutions of our republic, and let us resolve our disputes peacefully and in accordance with the law. Let us defend the Constitution not only in word, but in our actions. And so once again, I extend my congratulations to you, Justice Paul Bafuboni, on your appointment and investiture as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. May God grant you wisdom, strength, and good health as you carry out your onerous duties. May God bless you, may God bless the judiciary, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. I thank you very much.
I believe we can do another big round of applause for His Excellency the President.